Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good? It's your boy the Blackest of Mics, aka the Black Mike, and this is the Black Mike TV. If this is your first time joining me on this channel, welcome. I will give you a reason to subscribe, and if you're already part of this community, welcome back and thank you. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about my top 5 compressors: die-line, 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 and die-line.
Fire!
Okay, like I was saying, we are here talking about my top 5 compressors. And first on the list is one of my favorite compressors, and that is the TubeTech CL1B. And if you haven't seen it before, you will always recognize, no matter what studio you are in, with that blue face. It is a 2U rack, or you'll see it. This is CL1B. It's everywhere. You can't get it. It's super sold out. I wish I owned one. I don't, but it's cool because I have the digital emulation by UAD. If you haven't checked out some of my other videos about my vocal chain, hit that card up top and you'll be able to see that, and you will see how to use it there. The reason why I like it is because it's just smooth. It's a great initial compressor to put on vocals. Like right after I hit my vocals with, you know, my preamp, I run right into that. Would do some post processing with other compressors as well, but that bad boy is the one that I reach for. And if I have nothing else but that, I know my vocals will be nice and smooth and buttery, and I love it every single time. Okay, and secondly, this is probably like the finisher of the vocal chain. It would probably be something else, maybe an EQ in between, but then I finish with that, which is the LA2A. This thing is a super Swiss Army knife. I love it. It's good for vocals. Like I said, I would use it as a secondary compressor to kind of tie everything down. Maybe use it as a bus compressor for background vocals or main vocals. But it's definitely one to use. But another way that I use the LA2A is with my bass. 808s bass, it just has some sort of knock to it. And if you use the vintage one, there's like a little knob close to like the left of it, at the bottom left. It pretty much cuts the frequency of which is affected by the compressor. So for instance, it allows a lot of the low end to pass through and not be compressed, but the higher part of the frequency range be compressed. So that really does amazing things. It gives me that deep bass that I want. It just sounds amazing. That's how I use it. So the LA2A is my secondary go-to compressor. Now moving on, we have the API 2500, and I've used it before in passing whenever I couldn't get to something else that I really wanted. But as of recently, I've been using it a lot more on vocals. I really think that this is dope. It gives me a similar buttery kind of compression like I would get from the CL1B, but it's different. Rather than using it on like R&B vocals where it's like a little smooth, but I can use it on rap vocals and turn it smooth. Even if it's aggressive, it tames it. And at least that's been my experience with that. If you have a different experience with any one of these compressors, please let me know down below, or you can recommend some of your top 5 or your favorites. I would love to hear what you guys are using. Put me on something, or help me to use something that I haven't been using that I already have in my arsenal. I'm looking forward to hearing to y'all. So moving along to the fourth. My fourth favorite would be, you already know, the hard compressor from Waves. Everybody uses this. It's amazing. This is something that I put on my channels to compress vocals after I run my vocals through the processing that I do. Man, this is like, it's super simple, right? It affects vocals in a way, it brings it together so you can use it. I don't use it as a bus compressor for anything like that, but I put it right on the channel. It just really controls the dynamics a lot more for me, just in case I missed it with the other compressors. So I go light with my earlier compressors, and then, you know, I start to tame it. Sort of like I'm just chipping away at the vocals. And funny enough, by the time I do that or run my chain through, it's not overly compressed to the point where it's like, man, that sounds overly compressed. It just sounds neater than me. So again, to each his own. If you don't use the ARC compressor, you never heard of the ARC compressor, you probably just started working on music. And if you can't get any other compressor, any other third-party compressor, make sure that you get the ARC compressor. It's just, it does what it needs to do. All right, what I've been using kind of like outside of the API as of lately, I've also been using the Isotope Neutron 3 compressor. It's actually pretty dope, super simple. I've used it as a sidechain compressor. I just am a big fan of the visualization aspect of it, where you get to see the waveforms and how it visibly reduces those additional transients, those just brings it down. I like to see that. And it's super simple, doesn't take a lot of CPU, which is another reason why, I like to use that as well. And it sounds pretty good. It doesn't provide me with any type of color, like let's say a CO1B or API 2500, maybe the LA2A even. It doesn't really do anything. It's more transparent, but it's more like, I need to get this done and I don't feel like using the other compressors, but I want to get something different from them. And you can hit this compressor pretty hard. You can hit them all pretty hard, pause. I'm starting to dig this a lot more and really appreciate what it provides to my arsenal. So those are my top 5 compressors. Again, I got the Tech Tube CO1B, Tube Tech, I always get it confused. Tube Tech, you know what I'm talking about, the CO1B, blue joint. Then I got the LA2A from Universal Audio or Teletronics. I've got the API 2500 Waves, ARC compressor, and Isotope Neutron 3 compressor. So those are my top 5. Let me know down in the comments, what are your top 5? What are you using? What's your favorite compressor? Let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion about it. Let's compare. Let me bash your top 5. And you can try to debunk my top 5, but they solid. Come on, you use at least one of them. I know it. 2 of them. And don't forget, follow me on social media. And if you are in need of a good template to record your vocals with, you just use my simple vocal template on theblackmic.com, where you can get my templates, the simple vocal templates, but you don't need third-party plugins. You can use your onboard plugins within your DAW, and your DAW has some really fire plugins that you may not even be using. Anyway, hit my website, www.theblackmic.com, and check those templates out, see what you like, and hit me up. Once again, it's your boy, the Blackest of Mics, signing off, the Black Mic TV. Peace.
Fire!